It's Trevor Lawrence time in Jacksonville. The Jags made the move they had to make and secured their potential franchise quarterbacks for years to come. There's no doubt that Lawrence is a really good prospect and should have great success in the NFL. But what about the rest of the team? How will they do? I'm Tommy Osborne with an analysis of the Jacksonville Jaguars heading into next season.
Every year, the draft is full of the same exaggerated nonsense. Every quarterback is the next Tom Brady, and every receiver is the next Jerry Rice. But Trevor Lawrence is different. The most common comparisons are that he's an Andrew Luck type prospect, and I believe in the hype. He's the complete package. His accuracy on short passes and deep balls both is insane, and he has the mobility to make plays outside of the pocket too. His pocket presence is also amazing. He knows when to get rid of the ball and how to avoid big mistakes. He's a pro-ready prospect that instantly makes the Jags a far better team. As you can tell, I'm really high on Lawrence. But what about the rest of the offense? They were atrocious last year, finishing in the bottom 5 for yards and points both. But now that they have Lawrence, I think the rest of the supporting cast will greatly improve. The running backs look to be really good. James Robinson was a stud last year, racking up over 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns in his rookie year. And now he'll be complemented by Travis Etienne. Head coach Urban Meyer has Etienne taking practice reps at receiver, so I think we'll see a lot of two running back sets where you have to account for Robinson taking the handoff or Etienne catching a screen pass or something like that. The receivers don't look spectacular, but they should be a respectable unit with DJ Chark Jr. looking to build off of a solid second year, as well as bringing in Marvin Jones in free agency. Add in guys like Laviska Shenault Jr., Pharaoh Cooper, and Philip Dorsett, and you have a solid, but not amazing group. I'm not sold on their tight ends, though. I don't see any difference makers in that group. And their offensive line is also a weakness. Their interior seems to be fine, but their tackle duo of Cam Robinson and Jawan Taylor aren't stellar. The Jags will have to hope for better tackle play so that Lawrence doesn't take a beating in his first year. Overall, I expect this unit to be greatly improved now that Lawrence is here. He'll make some amazing plays and really transform this unit, but there's still too many holes to consider them one of the better units in the league. Last year's defense was somehow worse than the offense, with the Jags finishing second last in points and yards allowed. Similar to the offense though, there were several big moves made to bolster the unit. They brought in Shaquille Griffin to step into a number 1 cornerback role, and I think this will greatly boost the secondary. First rounder CJ Henderson was disappointing last year, but I think he should greatly improve. Besides having more experience under his belt, he also won't have to face number 1 receivers. They also brought in safety Rayshon Jenkins, who proved to be a do-it-all safety with over 80 tackles, 2 picks, and a sack last year. I expect the Jags secondary to be much stronger than last year. Will they be good? Probably not, but I don't think that they'll be awful. They'll be around average, which is a huge jump from last year. They also loaded up on the D-line, bringing in Malcolm Brown and Roy Robertson Harris through free agency, as well as drafting Jay Tufele in the 4th round. The Jags had a non-existent pass rush and were constantly burned in the run game, so I think this commitment to big-bodied tackles was the right call. Adding these guys to the D-line will allow linebackers Myles Jack and Kalavon Chason more space to roam free and make big plays. I'm excited to see how the linebackers fare now that the D-line should be able to carry its weight a bit better. That's not to say their D-line is good, but it is much improved, and I think Jacksonville did a solid job addressing their weaknesses.
The Jaguars are in the early stages of a rebuild, but I think they made a lot of really good moves to get their team headed in the right direction. Trevor Lawrence is the real deal, and I'm super excited to see how he does this year, but he doesn't make the Jags a good team by himself. There's still a lot of holes on offense, and that defense looks to be average at best. But average is still a huge step up from last year, and they're working their way back to respectability. I think they'll be a 6-11 or 7-10 team this upcoming year. They'll get a couple of wins, and Lawrence will have Jags fans feeling really good by the end of the year. And that wraps up my Jacksonville analysis. How do you think they'll do next year? Will Lawrence carry them to even more wins than I predicted? If you're liking these videos, please be sure to like and subscribe, as I'll be doing one of these for every single team in the league. Thanks for watching All Sports. I'm Tommy Osborne.